everyone, I'm here with a journal page. No whimsy houses today. This is I'm working in my large Dylusions creative journal, and I'm just applying some gesso with a small brayer, and I'm now applying some burnt umber with the brayer. Now this page was initially inspired by Sara, my Serenity Crafts, but once the background was done, I just didn't, I went my own separate way, putting something on there that I wanted, that I thought would suit it, because what Sara put on hers was too small for what I had, so for this journal. So anyway, so adding some precious gold, the Pebeo, just to give it a bit of shimmer, bit of different shading. And this is provincial beige, so I'm going for a brownish old sort of background colour, and some antique, no, that was sand acrylic paint, that one. A list of all the products that I've used creating this page will be in a blog post, which is linked below this video. Now I'm giving it a darker border here with some burnt sienna using the floating method, which is just mixing your paint, an angle brush with the paint and water, just to give it a graded look. But I end up covering this up anyway, so as I do. So now I'm taking some Memento espresso truffle dye ink. I didn't want a black, I wanted to continue with the brown theme, and that was a friendship stamp, friendship writing stamp by Hero Arts. And I'll just check the completed page and see if you can actually see. Yes, you can still see the script stamp. So I'm taking a Dylusions number jumble stencil and sponging it over with some J. Burroughs Expresso acrylic paint. It's just all part of the layering this background. That's all I'm doing at the moment. So this is the Dylusions Dotted Flowers stencil, and just adding a contrast colour here with some antique white acrylic paint. And I don't think I'm finished with the background yet, because now what I'm doing is I'm just spreading that gesso flatly on that piece there, so I can dip my used tape roll into it and stamp on some rings, because no background's complete without rings. So now I'm adding some more, some flowers as part of the background, and this is Sonja's rose gold, I think. Yep, fluid acrylic paint with the Delta Creative Daisies stencil. So a bit of shimmer with the I've got the precious gold and then the rose gold. And now just taking some different shades of pinks. So this one's Cherry Blossom. It's a cheap acrylic paint. So I add 3 of each of the flowers, I think. And then we come to some flamingo acrylic paint. Just trying to fill up the background is all I'm doing. And now I'm taking a mix of Cherry Blossom and gesso, I think. Yep. Just to add a different shade of the pink. And I'm using, this is, what stencil is it? Dina Wakley, Daisy's stencil. And now I'm just doodling on some flowers and leaves. Now all this that I've done so far is what Sara did on her page. Looks totally different. Probably because of the colours, the stamps, the stencils that has been used. But I think after I add these is where it becomes my page. And I'm hoping to be able to find that video that I saw of Sara's and link it below this video. I just had a look through all her videos that she's uploaded, and there are a lot of them. It goes back 5 years. So I couldn't see it at a glance, so I might have to go back in my history. But I will try to get that link for you to Sara's video, which this background is based on. I just drew through 3 of those. Alright, so now I'm taking the Donna Downey marigold stencil and just sponging on some white gesso to give myself a base to play with. And now taking some provincial beige mixed with raw umber. And this is where I'm going to shade the marigold using these browns again. So I'm putting the stencil back over the image and just using a stencil brush because it's not solid when it's stenciled over. Using a stencil brush you can actually well, it's not as solid, so it's not a complete coverage of the paint that I'm stenciling on. Because I wanted to get a streaky, just not solid. So pretty much I'm just playing around with the shading and colouring of this marigold. So I'll just pop some music on until we come to another stage. So I've just taken a couple of different brushes and just trying to darken it in some areas, lighten it in others. So I've just got a very fine detail brush there where I'm sort of adding more highlights to certain areas of the marigold. And I do the same with the raw umber for the darker areas. And just trying to get it so that it looks like shading, you know, it doesn't, I'm not there yet, but you'll see what the quote ends up saying, and that's where that comes from. I'm not quite happy with the shading of the flower, so you'll see then anyway. I'm still just trying to add detail to it. Yeah, I started off trying to sponge some of that darker burnt umber, but the stencil brush was too big. Alright, now it just got lost with that background, I thought, so I'm trying to pop it by adding some French blue acrylic gouache using the floating method. So just dipping an angled brush in the paint and then working it into the brush so that when you paint it down, it gives it a gradual fading effect. Supposed to. I'm not there yet with the technique. I haven't got it down pat, but I'm practicing it. So, and Sara is a great one to learn this technique from. She really talks you through it, tries to get you to understand it. So there, so that made that pop. Now the title. How was I going to put it on the page without it getting lost in that very busy background? So I just took the same French blue and using the floating method, just giving some lined areas there where I can write the quote. I'm just counting how many lines I needed. I needed one more. And probably should have turned that page upside down and got the grading effect between the second last and the last one. That's alright. So I just added some more water to it to blend it out a bit more. And now here I go with the quote using a white Posca pen. And it wasn't quite thick enough, it ran out, and so I changed it to another one later on. So the quote reads, "I may not be there yet, but I'm closer than I was yesterday." And that quote is all related to me trying to shade that flower. And I just have to I just have to try. I have some faith in myself that I can do this. So I just go over all those letters again, those words, because that first Posca pen was too thin. I decided I should protect what I'd just done in case it wasn't quite dry. So just put a bit of copy paper down underneath my hand. And that makes the lines across there with that provincial blue just makes that quote pop, and it marries in to the focal image there of the marigold. Then I had to add more. Oh yeah, I put this stem probably in the wrong place. I should have put it up in that little crevice area there. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I thought there needed to be more of that Prussian blue on the page, so I'm giving the whole edges of the page a float with the French blue. And then that's it. Page done. I was quite pleased with my efforts. Could be better, but that's what I'm doing, playing in my journals and just trying to improve. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I shall be back next week with another video. Bye.